We now know it took just 23 seconds for a U.S. Navy sailor to shoot and kill 2 Pearl Harbor shipyard workers, wound a third, and then kill himself. 30-year-old Vincent Capoy Jr., a metals inspector apprentice, and 49-year-old Roldan Augustin, a shop planner, were killed. A 36-year-old man remains hospitalized. Gina Mangieri is always investigating and tells us what she's learned. Gina?
Well, I'm told other sailors serving on the top side of the USS Columbia submarine have been disarmed at the dry dock as a precaution. Investigators are looking into what led the shooter to commit murder-suicide, and the shipyard unions say more safety changes will be needed. Military officials identified the shooter as 22-year-old Gabriel Antonio Romero of Texas, a machinist's mate auxiliary fireman assigned to the USS Columbia. He was assigned as a sentry, standing watch for the dry-docked submarine when he opened fire.
There's no known motive at this time. There's no information to suggest there are other threats to this installation, and there's no information that this incident has any ties to domestic terrorism.
The crime scene examination remains ongoing.
Multiple items of evidentiary value have been collected from the scene, the subject's vehicle, and the subject's barracks room. Forensic examination of the various electronic media belonging to the subject has started an effort to determine a motive if possible.
This act does not appear to have been motivated by any particular ideology. At the stage of this investigation, it appears this to be an isolated incident, and that the shooter appears to have acted alone.
As to the shooter's state of mind and troubles that could have led him to commit the atrocity,
we are always committed to providing the support to our sailors when they're having problems, and again, all that's going to be coming out as part of the investigation in terms of what was involved here.
Have additional security measures been put into place since, especially with all the shipyard workers back today? What has changed as of today for everyone's additional safety?
We are always evaluating the security situation. On a daily basis, we have very robust security.
the federal and local officials quickly exited the press conference after just a handful of questions. Reporters pressed on, with a public information officer still present.
Have any other service members' weapons been taken away since the incident there, who are standing, who otherwise were watchstanders?
I said that it's a standalone issue, okay? I think that answers the question.
According to shipyard union officials who attended back-to-work briefings Friday morning, a preventive measure has been taken on the USS Columbia in dry dock.
The guns were, everybody else that was involved in topside watch in that boat, immediately they were put off to the side, guns taken, and making sure nobody else is suffering the same, whatever happened with this sailor, whatever the sailor went through to cause him to act this way. So it's more or less, I think, damage control on their boat, or keeping it from getting out of hand even more.
To your knowledge, in this particular case, is there anything you know of in which a red flag had been raised?
No, I don't know. From what I understand, it was completely random.
And we're relying on the Navy to make some changes, for sure.
What kind of changes?
Just process changes to make sure that we feel safe at work. Every worker deserves to feel safe and to come home to their families.
I followed up on red flags, and the FBI tells me they had received no prior reporting on this individual prior to the shooting. They had not received any complaints or any information before the incident. In Hawaii, Romero had a couple of speeding tickets, but no criminal record. In order to be on active duty on a submarine after training, Romero had to have passed what's called sub-screen, a test measuring submariners on specific traits that may be incompatible with service on a sub, such as anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts.
Are there ample avenues at the shipyard should a worker feel threatened by whether it's a colleague at the shipyard or elsewhere on a ship that's not under the shipyard's command?
Yes, we have those things in place. However, they will be taking a look at and seeing how we can improve those type of programs when people need help and need to go talk to somebody. Obviously, we need to do a better job when somebody's under distress.
We'll follow up as more details of the investigation unfold. The shipyard workers' unions, meanwhile, have come together in support of the families and the survivor, and say they will let the public know soon how to contribute to those causes or send condolences for memorials. Back to you.